We talked about the dysfunction of the Chicago Bears and the lack of dysfunction that we've seen majority of its tenure with Green Bay. The Lions is a very interesting case. The Lions have had really nothing but dysfunction and nothing on the positive side for a while. However, there is a new light. There is a new hope for this team. And there is shocking to say this. There is a lot of expectations that can be met from this Detroit Lions team. Last year, we talked about what makes a team dysfunctional, and one of them, of course, was the turnovers and coaches and everything. And it's not really talked about a lot, just how important it is to get the coach right in football. I don't think Patrick Mahomes would be as successful if he didn't have Andy Reid. I'm not saying that Andy Reid made Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes would not be as successful if he didn't have Andy Reid. I don't think Tom Brady would have been as successful if he did not have Bill Belichick. I don't think we would see Lamar Jackson be as great as he was if he didn't have Harbaugh. Or, I just think the importance of coaching in football is prevalent everywhere you see. All the successful teams and other successful players have a coach that kind of caters to them. Well, for the longest, yes, you had good coaching or okay coaching. You didn't really have a team for the Lions, and the Lions dealt with dysfunction and dealt with mediocrity for the longest. Even with, think about this. The Lions had arguably in my opinion, a top 5 wide receiver of all time in Megatron. My favorite football player of all time, Calvin Johnson, Megatron. You also had Matthew Stafford, who a lot of people argue is a Hall of Famer, especially after winning a Super Bowl for the Rams. But even with those two, there wasn't much success there. Again, there are times, and that's a perfect example of, especially in football, it doesn't really matter how a player or players can't really overcome dysfunction as easy or as successfully in football than it is in basketball. Because you have LeBron James on your team. That dysfunction or not, that's LeBron. But LeBron James damn near won David Blatt NBA championship. So, So this Detroit Lions team has been dysfunctional for the longest. But there is a new hope. And there is a good shot. Let me say this. The Detroit Lions have a great shot of winning this division and being the best team in this division. They have some very, very good pieces, whether we talk about Jack Campbell, whether we talk about Penei Sewell. Of course, you have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You have Gibbs, running back, who was the rookie running back. You have some Aiden Hutchinson, who, if I'm not mistaken, no, he wasn't. You have the other Saint brother. This is a good roster. This is a really good roster. Yeah, Amar St. Brown. I know I said your name wrong, bro. I apologize. But this is a really good roster. And Jamison Williams, who I know he's going to be suspended for a couple games, but he should be back by the halfway point of the season. And of course, you have Jared Goff. And Jared Goff led a team, albeit, yes, he obviously wasn't the best player on that team, but he did lead a Rams team to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it, but he led them there. The Detroit Lions, led by Dan Campbell, who was a very electric coach and a coach that coming in, you didn't really have much hope for, with talking about biting people's knees and dragging people down. It just didn't look good for my man Dan. But after last year and seeing how hard they played, and while yes, they didn't make the playoffs, they were able to play spoiler for the Green Bay Packers. There is a lot of positiveness or positivity coming out of the Detroit Lions camp. And I don't remember the last time this was said, if this was ever said, but the Detroit Lions have a shot to be win this division and make some noise in the playoffs. I'm not going to go as far as say this is a Super Bowl contending team, not in the slightest. But when we talk about how weak the NFC is and how good the Lions played last year, and a lot of games that they lost were one-score games. I don't know if they are. I'll say this, roster-wise, they aren't obviously the best team. I think if we just talk about total roster, maybe the Green Bay Packers, because you still have a vaunted defense and everything, but the Detroit Lions, to me, has a chance to win this division. And I'm not going to be shocked if they do win the division. I will say this. They probably have the most proven quarterback. I mean, again, you can feel how you feel about Jared Goff, but Jared Goff did lead a team to the Super Bowl. The only quarterback in this division to do that. So you're seeing a team that has lived in dysfunction and lived on the bottom for the longest. That's one of the biggest reasons why people would always say the Lions Super Bowl was Thanksgiving, because they always played on Thanksgiving, and that was pretty much their only primetime game for years was Thanksgiving. It's just a tradition. And now you look up and this team has a very good shot of making some noise in the playoffs and winning this division. Even with Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford, I don't know, because there was so much else wrong with that team. There's a lot of potential on this team. There's not a lot of holes on this Detroit Lions team, and that to me is exciting. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.